It is now October the 9th, and the lamb's quarter seed heads are finally beginning to shatter after me planting them on June the 23rd. Based on my observations, I think this plant is actually photoperiod sensitive. Anyway, it is time for me to harvest the lamb's quarters. I have a pair of shears and a plastic bag. I'm going to cut up the flowering heads into small pieces and then let the flowering heads dry in my bag. Then I'll show you the rest in a few weeks. Here are the lamb's quarters cut up and put in a bag. They should decrease in volume and dry out within a period of about 2 weeks to a month. And I will measure the harvest when that happens. In the meantime, these need to dry in my bedroom where it's nice and warm and dry. Here's what's left of the lamb's quarters plant, because it's sprawled out about 3 feet or about a meter. It doesn't look like I can pack the plants as tightly as with corn or amaranth. So that means this plant might not be able to yield as much as I originally hoped for a cereal grain. It's been about a week since I first began recording, and I've held the lamb's quarter flower heads under a bright lamp. Now the seed heads and leaves are brittle, so I can just begin stripping off the seeds one by one and then tossing out the branches. I've already begun doing the process, but anyway, I will show you when I'm done. Okay, this is what I've got after about an hour of sifting out and stripping the stems of the green heads. Now all I have left are mostly small twigs, leaves, and the stripped grain. Next step is to sift the grain out through individual sieves of decreasing size. I will show that next. First off, we got the 1/4 inch sieve. Should be able to get out the larger bits of leaves. I'll continue using that until I get most of the remaining debris and only have the seeds. I'll just pour it in here. And pull out the remaining leaves and twigs. A little hard to do with one hand, so then cut to the afterwards. With the sieve, I have still some small bits of leaves. Hopefully I can remove more of them after the second pass. A small size of the leaf particles, I'm going to have to begin using a smaller hole sieve now. I'm going to get out the kitchen sieve and begin sifting out these remaining large bits of leaves. This finer sieve, I should be able to pass through most of the smaller chaff and seeds, but not the bigger leaf particles. And it should only take a few passes to get the rest through. Begin winnowing the seeds, but I want to remove as much of the small bits of twigs as possible before beginning the process. So I'll be passing the seeds through the sieve a few more times until I get most of the small twigs out. 4 passes through the sieve, I have removed most of the larger twigs. Now the next step will be, of course, passing it through a smaller sieve to get most of the dust out before the final winnowing. After quite a bit of winnowing with my fine mesh sieve, I've already removed most of the chaff. Sometimes I don't even need to winnow, but this time I want to go ahead and winnow to remove the small bits of leaf particles and seed husk debris, the chaff, so that I can use it for cooking and for planting. Now for winnowing, I'm actually just using the blow method, where you shake and then carefully blow off the chaff. There are other demonstrations online for this process. Unfortunately, I can't show it directly with my camera limitations, but I'll show you when I'm done. After about 3 hours of sifting, I've removed most of the chaff. Now I'm just going to pass it through my medium sieve again. to remove the remaining twigs, and the seeds should be clean by then. Okay, I weighed the grain, and that's about 3.8 ounces of grain from one plant. Did some calculation. If I planted at the same rate recommended for quinoa, I would get about 4,500 pounds of grain per acre, which is better than wheat, but still not quite as high as corn. So this plant here has a lot of potential for further domestication. I'm hoping with future generations I can get a lighter grain with a softer seed coat and larger seeds. We'll find out what happens next year when I plant it. Thanks for watching, and enjoy.